here's some tips if you have a little dog and when your dog is loose out and about and you need to pick your dog up or put your leash on your dog, you bend over to grab them and they dart away. So it's a funny comedy routine, but it's not fun and it can be very scary if it's happening to you and you're worried about your puppy or your little dog's safety. So obviously you can work on conditioning of teaching the dog to be comfortable with you putting on the harness, putting the leash to the harness or the collar, as well as handling exercises, as well as teaching the dog to be comfortable being picked up. However, there are a few other tips I can give you, which are one behavior that's really wonderful. If you've worked on the handling exercises, like the restraint and the collar grab, which I'm going to link below, then you can get to this exercise, which is the chin rest. So I'll link the chin rest video below too. And basically, you teach your little dog to put their chin in your hand like that when you outstretch your hand. Then, if you have a treat with you, you can feed them a treat like that and get their collar as they're eating the treat. You could also pick up their leash and put the leash on. So they're used to getting into your hand to rest their chin like that. Chin. Good. Chin. Good. Chin. Good. Another thing you can do is teach your little dog to jump up in your lap, and then you can slowly get your little dog as they're eating the treat like this in an emergency. But you can practice by just reaching, touching, feeding, and then letting go. So the little dog is getting conditioned that your hand on them doesn't mean that you're going to suddenly grab them. And you do it delicately enough that they get conditioned to be comfortable with being grabbed and picked up. So I have a video on how to teach jump up for little dogs. Epic! Jump up. Good. Good. Woohoo! Both paws. Good girl. Epicy, come! Jump up! Up here! Whee! Most little dogs don't like to be loomed over, to be picked up. As you saw, Tug lowered his head and he wasn't very happy about it. It's important to teach dogs to love being handled and restrained, so you can practice picking up your little dogs and reinforcing them for it. But if you have to pick your little dogs up all the time, sometimes it can be hard to keep it a positive experience. So I suggest teaching the trick jump up, where the dog jumps into your arms if you need to pick your dog up. One way of training this trick is simply luring your little dog onto your lap, marking, good, and then feeding a treat, good. And then you're going to mark and feed for your dog staying on your lap, and then give a release cue like free or release, and lure your dog off your lap, mark and reinforce for staying off your lap. Because you don't just want your little dog to just jump up onto your lap whenever they want. You want them to jump up when you give the cue. So when the little dog is reliably getting onto your lap with the lure, you can start to add a verbal cue, free, like jump up. Good. You can also start to get rid of holding the treats in your hand. So I'm going to pretend to have a treat in my hand, lure the dog up, click, and reinforce. Oh, she really likes this cheese. And then free. Release her. Awesome. Kiko, jump up. Good. Good girl. The next step is adding your hand, because as they jump into your arms, you're going to have to hold on to them. Now you want to do it in the least invasive way possible. I like to just wrap my arm around the dog, but it really depends on how comfortable your little dog is with the handling. Obviously, use common sense. If you think your dog is going to bite you or have a very fearful episode, if you were to start working on this, then seek professional help from a positive reinforcement trainer on getting your little dog to like being touched first. Are you ready? Kiko, free. So with both of my little dogs, she doesn't want to get off now. So with both of my little dogs, I spent a long period of time simply working on this step where I lure the dog up, good, and touch the dog with my other hand, good, free. If they want to get off my lap, that's totally fine. And then I break the steps up smaller, good. The next step is adding height. If you're going to use a platform to train this trick, make sure the platform has a soft, non-slip surface, and also the floor that the dog's going to jump off of the platform onto, that should also be non-slip. For example, grass, carpet, or padding. Are you ready, Tug? So you're simply going to lure the dog up onto the platform, mark and reinforce for the dog staying up there. Good. Tug is pretty excited about this cheese. Good job. And then release the dog free. Good job. Then when the dog can reliably jump up on cue, Tug, go jump up and stay up there. Good. Then you can add your body. Tug free. Good boy. I always have him jump up from the same side. Tug, jump up. Good. Depending on your little dog's size, health, and athleticism, who knows whether your little dog will be able to jump right up into your arms like Tug can. So you might just have to kneel down like this, Tug, jump up, and have them jump onto your leg, or squat. Tug, jump up like this. But if you have an athlete, jump up. You can have your dog bounce off this leg and jump into your arms if you wish. I suggest obviously the safest method depending on your dog. Jump up. Good. If you have a little dog that's disabled or really old and you're worried about them jumping up, for example, Kiko, her back legs aren't made very well, so if I ask her to jump up, Kiko, jump up, she can really only jump up this high. But perhaps you have a dog that has injury or pain in their body, you can cue them to go into a crate like this, zip it up, and then if you need to put them in the car, you don't have to pick them up. You can just ask them to go in their crate, put it into the car, buckle them in, and then when they reach their final destination, lift the crate out, and then cue your dog to come out. Kiko, free. And sometimes she doesn't want to come out because she likes it in there so much. Hey, Kiko. The method that I use is luring and encouraging the dog to come into your space first rather than reaching for your dog to put your hand under their chin like this. So you hold the treat and you let the dog eat it, and then you back away from the dog. Get it? And then you start to incorporate your hand underneath the treat so that the dog has to rub against your hand in order to get the treat. If you have a shy dog, you don't have to move as quickly. Go get it. Good job. You can also throw a treat away from you to reset the dog to come towards you to put their chin in your hand like that. And you don't have to make it harder and harder as you go. You can also have treats where you don't put your hand under your dog's chin. For some dogs, when you throw the treat, it can make the dog too excited, so you're going to have to just reset the dog by backing away from the dog. You're very excited here, huh? So once the dog has gotten used to feeling your hand going under his chin as he goes to get the treat, you can start to train the behavior. So you're going to invite your dog into your space, and then you're going to lower the treat over your hand so that your dog puts his chin into your hand on his own. And you can mark good with a calm marker like yep or good. You want to also start feeding your dog in a calm manner. So you're going to lower the treat. Good. 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 The next step is getting rid of the treat lure. So you're going to have your dog visually follow an empty hand like this. Good. And then go to get the treat. Good. When your dog is reliably putting his chin into your hand, you can say your verbal cue just before you do your visual hand signal. So I'm going to say chin, and then I'm going to drop the treat so that my dog puts his chin into my hand. Good job. If you want the chin rest to be a calming behavior, you want to make sure that your dog isn't fixated on the treats when you're marking. So after you've added your verbal cue and your dog is doing the chin rest, you can make sure to mark while they're not looking at the food. So you can choose a moment where they're looking out straight ahead of them to say good. Or you can mark when your dog makes eye contact with you.